Look at this. So initially, I was tempted to sort of just post this story to my Telegram. However, just scroll down ever so slightly. England urged to follow Scotland on LGBT education, right? Yeah, obviously Scotland enshrined in Scots law, LGBT education, you know, learning all about the genders and whatnot. There's a section down here. I want to talk about it briefly. So it says here that England has been urged to follow Scotland in introducing an LGB emphasis on the TI action plan with praise for inclusive education policies. In 2018, the UK government published a comprehensive LGBT emphasis in the T action plan, taking in such areas as health, education, safety, and the workplace. However, that ended the following year, and the European Commission Against Racism and Tolerance, established by the Council of Europe, has urged authorities in England, as a matter of priority, to adopt a new action plan. And this report apparently points to an action plan developed in Wales and Scotland's Building Racial Literacy programme in Scotland. Developed in Wales. Now, for all the years I've had a wee YouTube channel, I have never really seen many Welsh individuals in general. Very similar to Scotland in that regard. Seem to be very few and far between. Probably the most infamous, if you want to refer to him that way, would be Joe Marsh. I can't really think of many other Welsh guys or women. What? Never have I ever heard building racial literacy being referred to in a Welsh context. I don't know. Maybe somebody can inform me in the chat at a later date. But regardless, the report points to an action plan developed in Wales and Scotland's Building Racial Literacy programme in Scotland. I mean, I'm not even entirely sure that sentence makes sense. I don't even need to be drunk. I'm not drunk. But I mean, fucking hell. If I was drunk, I'd be convinced that I was reading that wrong. I don't get that sentence, to be fair. But I've never heard of the Welsh variation of the Building Racial Literacy Programme. Like, the Building Racial Literacy Programme is something that I've spoken about for fucking years on this channel. I've had a bit of a hate boner over the subject. But regardless, we'll keep going. It also praised LGBT emphasis on the inclusive education in Scotland that nobody voted for as an example of good practice for the Council of Europe. I mean, we allegedly left the European Union, apparently, but hey, yeah. The report made additional recommendations to improve the consistency of recording anti-LGBT emphasis on the T and racist bullying incidents in school. I'll have to. I really fucking hate the terminology, and I've said this so many times before, right? I can't say wholeheartedly that I've ever heard of like anti-LGBT emphasis on the T, or just in general LGBT emphasis on the T, bullying incidents as a term in and of itself. But as far as like racist bullying incidents or racist incidents in schools, basically what that means is, and it's the sort of same principle that they've applied to the hate crime bill in Scotland as of late. So basically what it means is that somebody could say something to you, right? So let's just hypothesize and say that wee Barry calls Abdul a dick. Well, Abdul can then go and tell his teacher or his headmaster or his guidance teacher that he was called a dick by Barry, and he perceives he perceives said being called a dick to be because of racism, and boom, it's basically clocked down as a racist incident. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and presume that the LGBT stuff is the same thing, but I can't say I've ever heard of that. But that's basically what that means. It legitimately is what that means. So that's why, like, you see it every year, like these statistics, they come out and it's, oh, racist incidents in school are on the rise. Yeah, but that's because like more and more and more kids are just fucking perceiving things, you know. Anyway, Jordan Daly, co founder and director of Time for Inclusive Education, said, for Scotland's pioneering approach to LGBT inclusive education to be commended by the Council of Europe's experts in an international report of this stature is significant. We met. This is him still speaking here. We met with experts from the European Commission Against Racism and Intolerance during their member state visit to the UK to provide detailed information about our work, share resources, and answer questions. I really struggle to understand why these people think the way that they do. Like, I really don't get it. Like, what's your infatuation with, like, shoehorning in rainbow flags and gender identity and gender ideology and transgenderism and all the rest of that stuff into the classroom of wee kids? You know, I think you probably would have a bit more of a leg to stand on if you left it to like high school at the very bare minimum, but you don't. You want it as young as possible. And it's just fucking weird. It's weird. Because even before this sort of stuff became the norm and enshrined in law, thanks to little bowl cut thin lips, Nicola Sturgeon, etc., right? First country in the world to enshrine it in fucking law, boy. Yeah, Scottish nationalism for you, right? But like prior to that, even when I was in school, like I was still in school in like 2014, 2015. Sex education was not a thing until like P7 going into first year. But now it's like you're in P3, P2, and you're being taught to a certain extent. It'll be like age appropriate. And I say that term loosely, or I use that term loosely. But it's all about the rainbows and everything that comes with it. It's just weird to me. I've never understood it. And adults saying this shit, it's fucking weird. To be fair. Anyway. And what have we got here? Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Jesus. Is that fucking the guy from Coronation Street, that Nick Tilsley or whatever? I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Anyway. Following this scrutiny, the latest report has praised LGBT inclusive education in Scotland as an example of good practice for the Council of Europe member states. After years of careful development of an educational model unique to Scotland, this is further validation that the national approach to LGBT inclusive education, which aims to both address prejudice and bullying, ensures all school pupils see themselves and their families reflected in their learning, is meaningful and important. With school pupils, Increasingly exposed to prejudicial content on social media, the classroom has to be a safe learning environment where they can learn about the world around them and the diverse communities in our society. Diverse communities, it's a fucking just nonsense, man. New research released this week from Just Like Us and Votes for Schools has found that 78% of primary school pupils and 80% of secondary school pupils in the UK report hearing, hearing, oh yeah, homophobic language, with many of them identifying content on TikTok as a key contributing factor in this behavior. We are currently engaging with international experts on an important new initiative that will provide further sector leading resources for Scottish schools to address the online disinformation, prejudice, and hate that children and young people are exposed to. Oh, fucking Jesus. You know, back in the day, I probably would have ended up fucking ranting at this point. But I'm not gonna. But it's just ridiculous. Let kids be kids. Leave them the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I've got a wee boy, and I'm very thankful, if nothing else, for the fact that his mother would never tolerate this shit. But the unfortunate truth is that there's a lot of kids out there that have parents who indirectly or directly will tolerate this. It's just fucking. It's stupendous. Leave kids alone. It's not difficult. What the fuck? Anyway, adios. Adios.